Guys, I had a shitty day at work, and a lot of it was my fault. It was my fault, but I just, every little thing is the fucking end of the world at this place. Anyways, I won't get into the details of it, but I just got off work. Normally I take a nap, but I'm gonna have a beer right now. Fuck it. And I work with video games, and sometimes I need reminding of why they're so awesome. So uh, try to make me remember here. I'm gonna go through. I've gone through my GameCube collection and my original Xbox collection. It's time to bring it to the current generation, and I'm gonna go with my biggest collection, which is my 360 collection, and it's just what I play the most. So I'm gonna go through here. This video is gonna be in parts. I definitely won't get to them all in one part. I'm gonna start with the games that are in the cabinet. These are the older ones that I've played already, and odds of me busting them out are a little slimmer. Now I have another shelf over here with more recent games, and I have even more recent games by my TV. So these are the ones I've had them for a while. Not exactly playing them right now, or they're older, but they're most of them are good games. We'll see what I got. I haven't looked at them. Fallout New Vegas, the sequel to Fallout 3 that was done by Obsidian instead of Bethesda. I actually like this one a lot. I actually like this more than Fallout 3, even though I was unable to beat this one. It was pretty hard. It got pretty hard near the end. There was a bunch of shit I had to do, and I moved on to other games. I went to go finish it one time. I got a little further, still didn't finish it. But I like the Vegas setting of this, the post-apocalyptic Vegas, and I like the humor in this one. Yeah, it had a lot of bugs, but so did Fallout 3. So you can't really be like, oh, this is a buggy piece of shit. Well, so was Fallout 3. I just like the humor and the setting in this one more. Ooh, my very first Xbox 360 game. This is the game that made me buy an Xbox 360. Not everyone is a huge fan of Dead Rising. I love it a lot. It's 3 days with zombies in a mall. It's basically Dawn of the Dead, the game, and did not regret buying a 360 when I got this. I still think this is a great game. I love it, and I think for some people, a big part that they didn't like. Well, they didn't like the save system. It didn't really bother me. A lot of people didn't like the fact that it was a timed game where you had the 72 hours or whatever to beat it. I love games like that. I really do. I wish more games were like that. My favorite game this generation, BioShock. Incredible story, incredible atmosphere, incredible writing, great gameplay. Really, this is my favorite. I can't wait for BioShock Infinite. The guys that made this one are making the new one. October 16th, ladies and gentlemen. Get excited. Madden 08, the last Madden I bought. I like Madden, but I'm not that into sports games, and there really isn't a reason to buy this every year unless you're one of those people that just buys Madden and Call of Duty and go, whatever. That's fine. It's just for me. I feel like $60 could be spent better elsewhere. I don't play when I buy them. I usually play through one season as the Bears, and that's it. The only sports game I really get into is Tiger Woods, and that I haven't bought in a long time. So I just can't justify purchasing sports games. I don't have the time for them. Think of how much time it takes to play a season in a baseball game. That's ridiculous. Bully Scholarship Edition. This is a port of the PS2 Rockstar game. Never beat this, but I liked it a lot. It was cool. It's like a Rockstar style open world game, except you're a kid in a boarding school, and definitely different. There's not too many games that are not about killing stuff, and especially from Rockstar. But this is a good game. Check it out. I think it's under $20 now. Gears 2. Not much to say about these games. I play them. I always buy them when they come out, and that's it. I don't play. I played horror mode here and there. They're fine shooters. I just don't get into them. Grand Theft Auto 4. I can't tell you how hyped I was for this. It was good. It was definitely good. Some of the fun was kind of sucked out of Grand Theft Auto though in the newer ones, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't looking forward to 5. Modern Warfare 2. This is back when I still really liked Call of Duty, and I was very hyped up for this one. I thought Call of Duty 4 was like a masterpiece. I still think it's really good, and this game was really fun too. Not much complaints about Modern Warfare 2, honestly. It was a fun ride. Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I like dungeon crawlers. This was not a good one, in my opinion. I didn't get that far into it, but Saints Row 2. Now this is they as a THQ and Volition, they pretty much took what was fun and what was missing in the new Grand Theft Auto and made their own rip-off series of it called Saints Row, and they're fun. They're fun games. They're kind of, throwaway games, but they're fun. They're well done. I actually think Part 2 was the best. This might surprise people. Well, it shouldn't surprise you that I own a Tony Hawk game. I love Tony Hawk. This is the last great Tony Hawk game, and for my money, ooh, look at this. Look at that, huh? Yeah. But for my money, Tony Hawk Project 8 was the best Tony Hawk. If you're a fan of the old ones, give this a shot. It's really cheap now. It's under $10. In my opinion, it's still the best one. I really hope they go back to this and just do a regular Tony Hawk. Like, they did one after this that was a regular Tony Hawk. It was called Proving Ground. But you could tell they just didn't put the time into it, and it was shitty. It sucked. And then they went to the skateboard peripheral route, and it sucked. Dead Space, great horror game actually. I don't know what to say. It's kind of like in between. This retains more of what the survival horror experience should be like than the Resident Evil games do now. It's monsters in space, and it is action oriented, and it does kind of have like the modern Resident Evil type controls, but it's better than the modern Resident Evils, and it's scarier. That's for sure. Left 4 Dead, Valve's multiplayer zombie shooter. This is a blast. Most people know it's just a great game. I remember being really skeptical about it, and then I bought it, and I was in love with this game for a while, like really in love. And I could still probably find every little secret on the opening map, like every little exploit, like to be the smoker and pull the guy off the roof and kill him. That was a great game. Fallout 3. Another great game. Like I said, I like Fallout New Vegas more, but this one I actually beat, and this got me into the series, and this is one of the games I think that kind of got me into RPGs more. I really love the open worlds in these games, and the freedom of choice to be good and evil, and I also really like post-apocalyptic settings. Now this one is it's a little drab and gray everywhere, but kind of like the cover, but it's still great. Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection. This game is like under $20 now. It has over 50, I think right around 50 games on it if you unlock everything. Not just Genesis games, there's a couple arcade games in there, but you got all the Sonics, all the Streets of Rage, Golden Axe. You got Altered Beast arcade version. Some other games you might remember or you might not. And just some kind of gems hidden in there. I was never a huge Genesis fan, but this is basically a Sega Genesis on a disc. So. Darksiders. This one came out of nowhere from THQ, and it's basically a Zelda clone. It's basically Zelda meets God of War. So kind of like God of War style combat, but Zelda style dungeons and puzzles and that type of stuff. I really enjoyed this. I didn't beat it. I don't know why I didn't beat it, but I'm looking forward to the sequel. I hope THQ survives to finish the sequel, and I hope that the sequel is quality and not just them trying to get something out so they can make some money before they die. I got one more here in my stack, and then I gotta go grab more. But I got more time in this video, so I'll keep going. You'll just have to excuse me while I grab more. The orange box. This has Half-Life, basically all of Half-Life 2, is it? Yeah, Half-Life 2 and Half-Life 2 Episode 1. You have Team Fortress 2, and you have Portal. Out of all of the games on here, the one I got into the most is the 3 hour basically tech demo Portal, which was a really, really groundbreaking and incredible and funny puzzle game. Um, that this game alone is worth getting this for. I don't really like Half Life that much. From what I played of it, it kind of was boring to me. And Team Fortress 2, I know it's a game people really love, but I think like the squad-based shooters, I'm just not a big fan of. I mean, I've been kind of losing interest in multiplayer shooters, and just shooters in general lately. I haven't bought that many in the last year, and but that wasn't the case with this. It was when I bought this, I was really into shooters, and I don't know, squad based. It doesn't really do it for me. I know, it's like don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's great. I know a lot of people love it. I am gonna grab more games. 1 second. Sorry about that. Resident Evil 5. I was a big fan of Resident Evil. Pretty much, I like the series a lot, but this one not so much. I didn't hate it as much as some people really don't like this game. I just thought this was a step down from 4. I don't think it was bad. And honestly, if 6 is like this again, I'm not going to be as upset as most people. I'm kind of expecting it to be like this, but even more pushed towards like just being an action game. It's disappointing because as an action game, it's not as good as a survival horror, but what the fuck can you do? This one, I bought used for, you can see the price right here, $4.99, really cheap. Now, I wasn't trying to get the tennis game. What I was trying to get is this other disc that comes with it, Xbox Live Arcade disc. It has some arcade games, um, like Uno, Boom Boom Rocket, a couple things like that. The one you want though on here is PacMan Championship Edition. It sells for $10 on the marketplace. I bought this for like a couple bucks and got a whole bunch of games, but I was really after that Pac-Man. Um, a year later, though, they came out with a better version of Pac-Man Championship Edition. So if you're looking to get a Pac-Man game, well, first of all, if you see this in the store, just buy it. It's so fucking cheap. But now it's like $2 or $3 for like a decent amount of games. Uh, but Pac-Man Championship Edition DX, if you want a Pac-Man game, that's the one to get. Duke, probably one of the worst games of last year. That you know what? I actually don't think it's as bad as people said. I actually liked Duke quite a bit. The loading screen sucked. It looked like a game that was 10 years old, but the gameplay itself, when you weren't dealing with the loading screens and this and that, I don't think Duke Nukem Forever was that bad. It was different than other shooters, and that's a good thing in my opinion. Some of the levels were really fun. I love the one that was in the burger joint where you shrink down and you're jumping around between, like you're jumping around on the stoves and shit. I thought, I mean, I played through the whole game, I beat it, and I had fun with it. The multiplayer is absolute garbage. The campaign itself, I think that's open for debate. If you could live with the really long load screens that are constantly, being thrown at you, and you could live with dated graphics and humor, the gameplay itself is not terrible. Uh, I mean, I'm not going to be the game's biggest defender, but I mean, it's really not that bad. Um, I think I got time for one more. Prince of Persia. This one came out in 2008. I didn't like it as much as I didn't like as much. I don't think I've liked any of them as much as the Sands of Time. I don't think this series has ever really recaptured what was great about Sands of Time. This one's not bad though, and I'm gonna give it another shot one day. I actually am. I'm gonna play through this as soon as there's a gap, like a little bit of a drought in releases. I'm gonna replay through this and finish it and see if I still think it's not that good. It was a little too hand holding. I didn't like the art style. I didn't like the whole dynamic with you and this chick. I just wanted to be the Prince of Persia. Anyways, see you in part 2.